Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and if you are interested in cheesing the AI within the Escape from Tarkov PVE mode, then this video is the one for you, because not only are we going to be able to get some progress towards some of our tasks that we need to complete that require us to eliminate PMC operatives at the Lighthouse premises. So if you've got any PMC takeout tasks that were required for you to actually progress in the storyline or the quest lines that are within the game, but also if you need to take out some of the rogues that are on the map and make it a little bit easier to enter the water treatment plant, this video is for you. With that being said, let's take a quick look at what the setup is that we're using. So first things first, we have a sniper rifle. Anyone will do, as long as you got yourself a thermal sight. You don't need the thermal sight, it just makes it a hell of a lot easier to locate the PMCs, and I would recommend it if you have access to a thermal sight. So, you know, take one if you've got one. If you don't, no issues. Then we've got ourselves a normal gun. So we've got the SR25 that we just picked up from, I believe, one of the Goons that we had. And essentially all we're running it with is a Razor HD. Use any decent scope. So I'm talking one that does have a magnified zoom. So you can go both like 1.5 times and X times. And that allows you to swap between the scopes and transfer them when you need to, because that's how we're going to take out the rogues in this video. But we also then are taking in a paracord for the Red Rebel extract. And of course, we are going to need the Red Rebel in our thing. In this video, I will show you how to extract via the Red Rebel, as well as how to not extract via the Red Rebel if you don't have it available to you at this moment in time. But yeah, taking the best weapons and the best actual ammo that you do have, level 4 plus is not a must, but it will make it a lot easier for you to take out some of the PMCs and the AI in general through this method without having to hit them multiple times. And then of course, you want to have some of these keys. So we have the USEC 1 key, we've got the this is the safe key, and we've got the USEC 2 safe key, and we've got the USEC cottage room key, which just access extra rare spawns if you want to do a bit of looting. So it's an optional extra, you don't have to have them, and they are quite expensive at the moment of this recording at about 300k, and so far I haven't actually found anything in the safes themselves because of the loot changes that were done. But with that out of the way, let's jump into the raid. Before we jump into that raid, however, if you like Escape from Tarkov and want to see more, hit the subscribe button down below, but most importantly, hit that like button as it helps it spread to more people, and hopefully they can have an easier time of actually dealing with the Lighthouse map as it is in PvE right now. The first place that we're going to go is on top of the hill, directly opposite where the chalets are, because there is quite a few PMC spawns, and PMCs will also make their way down the road. And this also keeps you far enough away from the pesky goons that can spawn over by the chalets directly in front of me over there. And the goons, as we know, are very, very cracked and will push you very, very hard. And if you haven't already seen my video on the actual how to take out PvE goons by simply letting them push you and protecting yourself by getting yourself behind a door, I'd highly recommend having a look at that video as well, which I'll link in the description down below. But with that out of the way, the key spot for us in this video is up here. This allows us to get a good overview of both the road down below us and also directly at the chalet area, which is where PMC can spawn. And it also gives us a nice little area directly in front of us, which is another location which PMCs will spawn. There is also a couple of other things that you will need to know as well, is that this isn't the only spot at which players can be around. So we want to look all the way down the road. There can be PMCs that spawn over by the truck and slightly further on down. So this is why having both a FLIR and also a normal sighted weapon allow you to both see down the road to be able to find out where PMCs are, but also to then swap back to the FLIR to have a bit of a better idea as to where these PMCs are. You can see down here we've got ourselves a PMC by the looks of it, and there we go, he is gone out of the game. We can swap back to a normal weapon and just double check it was indeed a scav, but there was definitely some shooting going on, so let's have a look and see if we can find somewhere else. So it appears like the PMCs are further on down the road, over directly in front where we are now. And what we can do, if you didn't already know as well, if you're using a sniper rifle in this game, if you hold down the fire button, you will actually not reload your next round, which allows you to see exactly where you're hitting people and see a bit better the bullet drop of your weapon. So it just makes it that little bit easier. And you can see here, we can do that exact thing. This is where we swap back to the normal weapon. And there you go. That's one PMC down, I believe. So this is kind of what you can do to guarantee yourself some PMC kills. All you have to do, once again, have the flare. Make sure that you're checking down the road. You can see that he obviously took out a scav down there or some sort. And if we zoom in, we can have a bit better of a look. So that was one. Of course, we took out a scav just a moment earlier, which was directly over here somewhere. And then, of course, the PMC then started running down the road. Now, sometimes they can spawn in groups of anywhere from 1 to 4 PMCs all in one go, which obviously you're wanting the spawns of 1, 2, 4, and that gives you a better opportunity to get those. But I wanted to add something extra into this video since we didn't want to just show you one specific spot. We can see that there is, of course, another scav or something. To help you out with your arm stand, which can be the biggest pain, if you lie down, you basically use barely any arm stamp, and there we go. That's one of the scavs out, and often the goons will spawn on the other side of the kind of building directly in front of us. Right, so there's one extra thing that I wanted to show you in this video, which is kind of useful and will be a nice extra way to get a bit of extra XP if you're doing this, or you're just simply a little bit bored waiting to see where the PMCs actually are in the game. And that relies upon what we do is we lie down on the top of this rock over here. We'll grab out our gear, we'll inspect our weapon right here, we'll drag that over, and then we drop out the flare. And what we can do is inspect our gun with the normal scope. We grab our Geist, we put it on our normal sniper rifle, and now we can actually see exactly where the raiders are. Now, the first tower that you can see right here, this is often where a rogue will be. So what you can do is you can, if he is on the actual machine gun, which typically they are, you can then just launch a round directly in front. Good thing about having M62, for example, is that you will get the tracer rounds, and you also have another rogue that you can try and get. If we go down slightly further onto this rock down below, and we go all the way over to here and we lie down, what we can do is we can see another rogue, which will usually be on this gun over here, right there. And this gives us the opportunity of taking out both of the rogues that usually go on the gun. And then if you've got absolutely cracked aim, or you're just simply wanting a bit of a challenge whilst you're waiting, you can go for the rogue that is on the gun over here. And we've hit him, he's probably going to run off. And there we go, so we didn't headshot him. There's also another rogue all the way over on the other side of that building. We can load back our weapon, and you can see that there's a rogue directly over there. So we hit him. Narrowly missed. We hit him again. And we hit him again and he's run off. Reload our weapon again. And then periodically you want to be having a look around to make sure no one is sneaking up on you or doing anything funky, as PMCs can obviously keep walking down the road if they spawn over there. And of course you can also have scavs just randomly walking about, so just be aware of that, and you don't want to get beamed by one of them when you're just focusing on trying to snipe out some of the rogues. Now what you'll notice there is our little kind of rogue has got back on his main weapon, which allows us to essentially go for the shot again, and we'll line it up. And there you go, we actually managed to take him out. And then we've got another one over here, so we'll go for him. Just need to reload. So we didn't quite manage to actually hit him. And there we go, we've taken that guy out. If you're really ambitious and you want a challenge, what you can do is try and go for the PMC or the rogue that is really far away. And okay, got kind of lucky with that one, so we took him out. There can also be one that's over on the left hand side, but you'd have to wall bang through the actual window, which, I mean, trying to do that reliably is quite difficult. And then you've also got another one which can spawn on the other side of the building. So this is a great way of removing some of the annoying rogues that can be on the map. And once you've kind of done that, you can then go in and actually clear out the rogue camp itself. But just basically going around and checking around and seeing if you can take out some of the rogues before you push in, really, really valuable and probably something that you're going to want to do. From here, one other thing before we end up the video is that PMCs can walk down from kind of the area of the town, which is over there. Directly in this location on the opposite side of the hill. They'll walk down and they'll come towards this location right here in front of us. And this is often where you can get PMCs. Usually you just have to wait a little bit and they usually will start walking down here to go onto the road. And then similarly, you can also catch them kind of going along the road as well as they spawn maybe up towards the chalet and they go towards the extract. Because PMCs do extract, they do move towards those extracts. So it's a nice little bonus to keep having a look around and seeing if you can find them from this sort of location. And just making sure that you've got your mags packed all of the time so you don't unintentionally run out of ammo halfway through a gunfight, which definitely I've never done before. So you can see that there is indeed another rogue or a scav or something that's sat right over there. So we're going to go for the shot. Not quite, but we're looking like it. And there you go, another one down. And this is simply one of the best ways to take out rogues if you need to do them for any quests, or if you need to just push into the water treatment plant without getting beamed. It just is the best way, and hopefully that kind of gives you an indication as to some of the areas where the PMCs can spawn. It really depends. Lighthouse can be a bit buggy with regards to how many PMCs do spawn. It isn't particularly the best map for actual PMC spawns in general. They usually spawn directly down the road. This is kind of the areas where they typically will spawn, as well as they'll spawn at the chalets. But once again, because of the amount of rogues, I think the fact that there are so many rogues every single raid, it kind of pushes down the amount of AI that are in the game. And so BSG, I guess, trying to minimize the impact, but it also means that some raids can be dead and completely dead when it comes to PMC spawns. And remember that the goons can spawn over by the chalet and just generally everywhere on the map at the minute. They're kind of like our 100% spawn rate. And because of that, you'll find that sometimes those 100% spawn rates can mean that they're taking up a slot of the PMCs. Hopefully this will change somewhat soon so we don't have that, because it is just a bit of a pain to always have to fight the goons if you're playing Lighthouse at the moment. But yeah, hopefully that will change, as I said. But that's kind of my advice as to kind of dealing with PMCs and also finding PMCs on the map. All you need, get yourself a sniper rifle with a flare scope on it to begin with, and then you can swap out the flare scope with another rifle that you do have, or a machine gun, or whatever you want to use to kind of, if they get close to you or you're having to fight the goons, you can just swap to that and then kind of go between the sites and just take them off and put them back on, and that way you'll be absolutely fine and golden for this map. Once all of the enemies have dried up, what you can do is then just swap over the scopes again. And once we've done that, we'll then make our way over to the second kind of mountain directly behind where we were just then. And from here, you can also get some shots into the goons, which can be over by the chalet. You can sometimes find them through the tree line directly here and on the road. I don't think that they've spawned in this raid, so that's okay. But what we can then do, once you've kind of checked over there, if there weren't any PMCs or anything, we can then go towards where the underground tunnel is. And then you want to check the abandoned house directly in front of the lighthouse. And from there, you'll kind of see if there's anyone lying around within the actual building. There can be PMCs actually inside. So it's worth having a quick look over there and checking outside of it, as they can get bugged and they can end up kind of just running in the same spot. Weird one on Lighthouse. I don't know why the map is so buggy. But from here, we then just run down. And then once we've done that, we'll make our way up to the first chalet up here. There can be PMCs, but it's very rare, to be honest, and it depends on where you spawn, I believe, as to where the PMCs actually do spawn. run inside here and we can do our quick little loot run to make the money back for the ammunition that we've spent, which isn't too much, but it is worth having a look just to see. And of course you can take whatever you want to. If you got slots, you can drop them in. And then we go inside of the garage area. There's also a spawn over here and a spawn there, so we'll grab those and we'll do the very, very quick run as to where the rare spawns are. And then, if, of course, you have got yourself a paracord and a red rebel, then you can just extract directly out from here. We haven't got a paracord, well, we've got a paracord, but we don't have the red rebel with us. So we can actually go down here and show off the rest of the loot run, but you could extract right there. And then once we've looted up both of those chalets, I'll make my way down over here. And this is where we can find ourselves some more PMCs. And essentially one of the areas that you want to have a look at is in this building right here. It's an area where PMCs for some reason can get trapped in there. I don't know why, but they do. So you want to always check inside of this building right here. It's in the village. And yeah, they get trapped upstairs in that room and they can just be sat there in a group of like 3. We'll just break down the windows so we can see with the FLIR. Doesn't look like there was anyone in there anyway. But then we just have a quick look around. You can go and loot up the village if you really want to, but we're just simply trying to do this task as quickly as possible. Obviously, I would recommend just not looting if you're trying to do the task, but if you do want to make a bit of money, make your ammunition cost back, then you can do that in that raid. But if you don't, then you can move your way down to Path to Shoreline, which is directly over here, and you can literally just extract. And there you go. It's as simple as that. Come over to this corner and that way you're invulnerable to anyone potentially being over here. There won't be anyone else. So yeah, once you've done that, that is the run complete. It's how I took out a ton of PMCs. Unfortunately, we got unlucky with how many PMCs did spawn in the raid. But, you know, it can still be a very, very good way. And it's probably the best and most consistent way that I've been able to take out PMCs. So with that being said, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like it and of course subscribe down below. You can see we took out those rogues from a very, very long distance, but there you go. Thank you and goodbye.